Mile 62. I'm on the way to the front in a new war.
Tonight, there's a bit of a controversy fizzing up.
In 2015, two companies, Swig and Sodalicious, were at war over who owned dirty soda.
We don't want this to be a war.
Today, Utah is a battleground for a ton of different dirty soda chains, and billions of dollars are rushing in. I drove 624 miles round trip to visit Swig and figure out what is happening. Is this Utah's takeover of America? Is it a Mormon takeover of America? Is this a religious movement that's coming for carbonation?
It's the use of the word dirty, extra dirty.
Okay, let's set some ground rules. What is dirty soda?
Today, we're gonna see how long I can resist this gigantic dirty Dr. Pepper. Ready, set, go!
It is customizable soda with a lot of different variations, but most often you're gonna find some cream in there, maybe some coconut.
We'll start with some crunchy ice, then add crispy Dr. Pepper. Next is pineapple and a hint of coconut. Then we'll top it all off with vanilla cream.
I'm gonna organize this video around the 5 stages of grief, because that is what I entered into when I realized I was going to be driving more than 500 miles in a day to get a soda. I cannot believe I'm driving this far for a stupid dirty soda video. I thought Mormons weren't even allowed to drink caffeine. How could this be possible? Okay, so there's some truth and myth to clear up here. Is this a religious thing? I'm an outsider, but I personally think that LDS has a very confusing relationship to soda. Swig founder Nicole Robison, who's LDS, says that a dirty soda has coconut in it.
Dirty always means coconut to us.
So this clip comes from KSL, which is actually owned by the for-profit arm of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, commonly called the Mormon Church. Here I'm going to try to say LDS whenever possible, because I think that's the preferred term. It starts here with section 89 of Doctrine and Covenants, a section known as the Word of Wisdom. These are the revelations that made the church. And I will read you this part. And again, strong drinks are not for the belly, but for the washing of your bodies. And again, tobacco is not for the body, neither for the belly, and is not good for man, but is an herb for bruises and all sick cattle, to be used with judgment and skill. And again, hot drinks are not for the body or belly. So you've got an explicit ban of alcohol, the tobacco ban, also very clear. But what is a bit of a gray area is around that hot drinks thing. So that bans coffee and tea, but things get complicated when soda becomes a mainstream thing and has caffeine in it. So in 1918, you get this article. This guy's going to a conference and he is shocked to see that when they're taking a break, a large number of brethren and sisters stepped up to the soda water counter, drank a glass of Coca-Cola, and then walked away as if it were a regular practice. For the Latter-day Saints who believe that tea and coffee are detrimental, there can be but one attitude toward the use of Coca-Cola. For, according to the testimony of the company itself, its action is precisely similar to that of tea and coffee. So this word of wisdom revelation is having a technological obstacle, which is this new drink that isn't brewed but has caffeine in it. In the 1972 Priesthood Bulletin, you've got a similarly gray area. And so they say there has been no official interpretation of the word of wisdom except that which was given by the brethren in the very early days of the church when it was declared that hot drinks meant tea and coffee. With reference to cola drinks, the church has never officially taken a position on this matter, but the leaders of the church have advised, and we do now specifically advise, against the use of any drink containing harmful habit-forming drugs under circumstances that would result in acquiring the habit. Any beverage that contains ingredients harmful to the body should be avoided. So this led to a very weird church relationship with soda in which it was okay, but also not okay. It's very confusing, but it wasn't as bad as coffee or tea, that's for sure.
Most Americans say they know next to nothing about the Mormon Church.
In 2012, one of the first official rebuttals happened as a response to an NBC report.
Do you drink caffeine?
No.
Have you ever had a cup of coffee?
I've never had a cup of coffee.
And the LDS response was, that's not true. This is made up. We haven't said this. I would argue that this is a turning point in the religious interpretation of soda.
But times they are a-changin'.
In 2017, they were selling soda again at BYU, the LDS University.
Coke. Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. Caffeine. That's what I'm thinking about right now.
And then in 2019, these super official statements came out. So now you have a whole state that wants caffeine, but they finally got a green light to pursue it in the form of soda. So that's what leads people to say that dirty soda is an LDS phenomenon. It shows up on shows like The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and that's the easiest explanation, right? This theory is so incomplete, and it makes me angry. You know, this is genuinely insane. I am not a Mormon wife with a secret life. I am a 42-year-old man on mile 282 of his trip to go get a soda. Let me tell you why I think calling this an LDS phenomenon is completely inadequate. First, will you go ahead and look at this map? LDS adherents are slim and they are geographically isolated. Second, you can get halal shawarma almost anywhere, but I don't think that people are saying that it's gotten popular because of the rise of Islam in the United States. I mean, it's more like there are demographic changes, it tastes really good, etc. The same thing goes for Chick-fil-A. It was famously founded with Baptist values, it's closed on Sunday, but you don't become a national phenomenon just by catering to the religion. So let's go ahead and look at Swig and Sodalicious. Swig was founded in 2010 by an LDS mom, so that is running right into the mainstreaming of soda. But Swig got bought pretty quickly and became part of the Savory Fund. That is where the growth takes off. But in their portfolio is also Mo Bettahs, a Hawaiian barbecue experience with 61 locations, Houston Hot Chicken, Pincho, burgers, and kebabs. None of these brands have explicit LDS values. Swig did eventually pass into control by a very influential LDS family through their investment fund, but they clearly saw a brand that could grow bigger than Utah. And just look at the national landscape now of all the different soda shops. This is a much bigger phenomenon than one religion. And I think I know why. Okay, do you like my grill cleaning microphone? I want to share with you some amazing terms that I found in this 1945 article about soda fountain lingo while I tell you about today's sponsor, which is Beyond Meat. And I've got a taste test going on. I've got a hot Italian versus a traditional brat. They're going to face off. If I make Beyond Sausage to go, they would be called walking puppies, I think. I've been a Beyond Meat guy for a while, and I'm not a vegan. I'll eat a porker with a breather, whether it is meat or Beyond Meat. But I really like having Beyond Meat as an option. I actually really enjoy it in spaghetti or on nachos. So I think there is this weird myth, meat or vegan. You have to like choose a lane. But I like having Beyond Meat as a delicious option throughout the week, even if I am having beef or I decide to knock the horns off and drive them on Beyond Steak. All right, original brat. I should not be taking a second bite. Okay. Spicy boy. Okay, that took a second. All right, I think we're gonna give it to the spicy, but it was a lot closer than I thought it would be. Basically, all they want you to do is go ahead and add Beyond Meat to your Instacart. I would try out the sausage and the brat. It's pretty fun. I've got a QR code on the screen, a link down in the description. I've got to put the mic down. What am I doing? I have to put the mic down and turn off the camera. The ad is over.
This is the smallest building I've ever seen.
Okay, so I was stunned when I finally made it to Swig.
A little model of a building.
But I probably shouldn't have been.
All right.
Drive-thru only. I had this new quest to get a shot for my thumbnail, and I had no idea where I was gonna stand to do it.
The dirty little secret.
I had to cross a street. This is really one of those the European mind cannot comprehend moments. And go down this big dirt hill.
Just gonna do it.
just to get it set up.
This is how the sausage is made, folks.
Does it look like I'm looking at it? Okay, let me at least give a review. I enjoy it, but like, my mind is not blown. I think it's time to go home. Yeah. I got a dirty little secret. It was a Dr. Pepper with some cream and coconut and pebble ice. They're known for that. Really tiny little ice cubes that I started to partly choke on the drive home.
It's fine. Totally fine.
I want to talk to you about Columbus, Ohio. You can find all these articles about how it is America's test city. It is a desirable test city because of the demographics. So let's compare its county to the Salt Lake City County demographics. They are shockingly similar. I mean, in Salt Lake County, there's 1,220,000 people. In Franklin County, there's 1,361,000. The population percent change from 2020 to 2025, 3% growth in Utah, 2.9% in Franklin County. 65 and over, 12.5% in Utah, 13.7% in Franklin County. Under 18, 24% in Salt Lake City, 23% in Columbus. Persons under 5, 6 in Utah, 6.3 in Columbus. The big differences are white alone, SLC is 85%, Columbus is 63%. Median value of owner-occupied housing units, 525,000 versus 288,000. And now, let's go down to income. 97,000 median income. Columbus, 75,000 median income. America's test city is Columbus. And Salt Lake is almost identical, but it is a lot richer. So it's targeting people who have more disposable income and people who don't drink alcohol. I want you to imagine a petri dish in a wet, warm room just made for the flourishing of businesses that prey on disposable income. And it gets a little depressing when you figure out what swig really means. What is the point of any of this? This is just a way for blissed out people to race toward diabetes. Do you know this guy?
This is damn good coffee.
This is Howard Schultz. He thinks that he's a coffee guy.
There is nothing like it, and the proof is in the glass.
He started his company as Il Giornale, a riff on the Italian espresso bar. Then he bought Starbucks, and he also became obsessed with the idea of the third place, a place that wasn't home or work, where people could congregate and be together.
The third place, people all over the world are longing for human connection.
I would argue that over a few decades, Starbucks discovered that their real business was neither of those things. Their real business was sugar and caffeine. I want you to look at this press release. This is from 2026. Around the world, cold beverages account for roughly 60% of Starbucks' international beverage sales, with cold outpacing hot across regions. Now, there is obviously cold brew coffee, iced coffee, but I think what's clear is like frappuccinos are a big business. The dirty little secret is that Americans never cared about taste or sophistication or the third place. Sorry, Howard Schultz. Howard Schultz made the same category error as the revelation of Joseph Smith, banning brewed drinks. The brewing is not the problem. It's the caffeine that people want. Now let's get to the third place front. So there's two things I want to make clear. Here is Swig in Salt Lake City. You can see this map of their locations. And now here is Swig when you filter for dine-in only. The old school soda fountains were all about driving traffic to the pharmacy. They went out as car culture grew up, downtowns emptied out, so did sodas. Swig did not replace the old school soda shop. It is a new thing. So the Swig and Sodalicious lawsuit, it was intense. There were Instagram posts where they're like complaining about the lawsuit. Sodalicious is like, Swig is suing us, we're sad. Swig and Sodalicious eventually settled, but the dirty soda thing, it was out of the bag. It had reached escape velocity, and that's where we are today. The Utah test market discovered an inalienable truth about Americans. They want to spend their disposable income on sugar and caffeine, and businesses are happy to give them a higher margin way to feel alive.
Okay, so maybe it's not a utopia, but it's a we the people-topia, and not drinking water has been integral to the American experience for 250 years. Whether it's whiskey on the White House lawn, passing around near beers to mothers and children, or Johnny Appleseed crisscrossing this great land, planting apples and producing cider that could keep people from drinking water, we've always not wanted to hydrate the H2O way. And so sure, maybe today after a long day, people want a special treat to make them forget the fact that their lives are miserable and the country will soon dissolve. But who am I to stop them from having one little dopamine rush before it all ends? Plus there's sugar-free options too.
That's it for this one. Thank you for joining me on my trip to Swig. In my free newsletter this week, you can subscribe to it. It is free, and I give you updates on when a video comes out, all that good stuff. You are going to learn about the other big Utah sweet treat battle, which is over cookies. And I will see you next time. Toodaloo.